Hello, and welcome to 10-7 Off-Duty Podcast. I'm Andrew Straley.
Don't listen to him. He's not really Andrew. Somebody send help.
Your friendly neighborhood natural selection interventionist.
I don't want to be here anymore.
With me is Clyde. Oh, why don't you want to be here anymore?
It's because I'm taped to a chair, you son of a bitch.
Look, if silence is golden, why is duct tape silver? Just curious.
It's because my pocket knife is made out of gold.
Alright. That got real creepy real quick. Shit. So, welcome to episode 34. We're 34 of these motherfuckers into this thing now. And if you guys...
I've been around for exactly half.
And if you guys are still listening, I don't know why, but thank you. We appreciate it. It's gotten real dumb real quick sometimes.
Yes, it has.
It's okay. Lots of butt and fart jokes and penis talk. Shit like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then my cat comes in and decides to fuck with the microphones, or the dogs decide to make their own appearance every once in a while, vocally.
Ooh,
so,
yeah.
How's your week been?
Tiresome, mostly.
Yeah? Still
Yes.
pulling a shit ton of overtime?
As much as I can get my hands on.
Yeah. At least you were able to go to Chicago, or up by Chicago for your brother's birthday.
Yeah, that was awesome. I got to go hang out with the biker club he's a part of. I'm not going to say which one just because I don't want to put his business out there.
Right.
But he's a member of a MC up in the Chicagoland area, and I got to go up there on Saturday and party with them. And like we've said a million times, man, bikers are the best guys to get to know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Not all bikers are bad. There's some bad people out there, just like there's bad people everywhere. But,
I was say most of them are badasses, I'll give you that. But believe me, I wouldn't want to get into a fight with any single one of those guys.
Yeah, because they don't take their rings off when they hit you.
No, man. That's actually the kind of club this is, where they will take their ring off to show you the ring.
Right.
But because you're not a member, you cannot even touch the ring.
Really?
Yeah. That's actually pretty cool. Like one of the guys had this giant diamond on one of his fingers, and we were talking about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've punched somebody with this." I was like, how'd that go? And he's like, he still knew who hit him the next day.
Well, the big thing is we got fucking pranked. Because we were supposed to get a shit ton of snow and ice, and it was supposed to be fucking nasty. And I was up till like 2 o'clock in the morning Friday when it was supposed to happen, and
just
nothing.
Beer and waiting and beer,
and struggling with a transmission. You know how it goes. But yeah, I was sitting up and I was like, and it started snowing for like a couple of minutes, and then it just rained. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Either it's going to be icy as fuck, or it's all going to happen after I go to bed, but we didn't get shit. We got ice, but that was it.
My wife and I, we hit a lot. We were having a lot of trouble with flurries and snow drifts and stuff like that.
Right.
But there was not really any snow coming down. It was just all the extra snow was on the ground already, getting kicked back up and it kicked back up into the air.
It was windy as fuck.
Oh, yeah. We just bought a new vehicle for my wife, the 2012 Jeep Patriot, and that is a shockingly light vehicle.
Oh yeah,
like it's got
there's nothing to it.
What was I say? It's got some decent mass on it, but it is light because we can feel ourselves getting pushed all over the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not like true 4-wheel drive, is it? It's like all-wheel drive or something like that.
No, it's 4x4.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Does it have the actual, like, can you change it into 4-wheel drive? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know there were a few of them. There's a lot of 4-wheel drives that aren't really 4-wheel. And all-wheel drive sucks because it takes more gas because you're constantly using...
That's actually one thing that we didn't like, is because on the way up there, we only have a 10-gallon tank in that thing. Yeah, a little itty-bitty tank. On the way up there, having to constantly switch speeds and like slow down or speed back up and stuff like that because of the drifts and because of the wind, because of the snow. And then having to go in and out of 4-wheel drive, we use almost a full tank of gas just to get there. I mean, it was not that far from where we are right now.
I'm not surprised. I mean, it's only a 10-gallon tank.
I mean, shit, on the way back, we used fucking half a tank.
The wind was
and we were even farther away.
Yeah, the wind was probably pushing you, though.
Yeah.
That's in my truck. That's definitely what happens. I'll just try to go to town, and it's like I can watch my gas gauge go down. And on the way back home, it's like, ooh, this is nice. This isn't too bad. I can feel the wind actually helping me at that point. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I'm not a big fan of wintertime, to be honest. I don't mind one good snow, but then once it just hangs around too long, I'm just like, I'm over it.
See, I actually like the wintertime only because I've always done blue-collar work. And since I like to work outside, I would prefer to be kept cool
while
I'm working. Because I already know that
you can put more clothes on, but you can't necessarily take more clothes off.
Because I already know that doing the job that I do during the summer, I am pouring sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. During the winter, yeah, it's a little cold at first, and then once I start going, I'm nice and warm. I'm good to go.
Yep. Mm-hmm. One thing I was going to ask you, just because when I was expecting all this snow, I decided I was going to make a big old crock pot full of chili. Ooh. So that way I wouldn't have to cook if it was snowing out. I don't know. Because then I could just go out to the garage, work, and then come in and grab a bowl of chili and go back out and keep going, and then I wouldn't have to worry about anybody cooking in my house. But I kind of fucked up because I like my chili hot. I've always made chili for like Firehouse. I call it Firehouse chili, 3-alarm chili, whatever, because I like it hot as it can get. If I'm not slightly crying or sweating by the time I get done with a bowl, it's not hot enough for me.
Okay.
I've had chili before that'll take like Louisiana hot sauce and pour in there because it's just not hot enough. So I fucked up on this one because usually when I make my chili, I'll like cut up some jalapenos and put in there, and chili seasoning and spices and all that stuff. Well, this one I made, and I could tell it was going to be a little bit hot. I finished my first bowl, touched my eyes, and I think I actually made OC spray or mace because I couldn't see right for like 3 hours afterwards. So I kind of fucked up on that. But who cooks more at your house? You or your wife? Or
my wife definitely cooks more often than I do.
Right.
I do like to cook, but she let's just be honest, she's a better cook than I am.
Really?
Yeah. I enjoy cooking. She likes it too, and she just happens to be the one that does it. So,
I'm the experimental one in my house. Like, I like to experiment with cooking more.
Yeah, that'd probably be Tasha.
Yeah, because
she's definitely the more experimental cook.
I fuck around more with like spices and stuff like that. Like, I can make a bang up freaking cilantro lime rice that'll like kick your ass. It's great.
Right.
And I'm off the keto diet right now because, and the keto diet was like high fat content, mostly meat products, kind of like the Atkins but on like steroids. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't supposed to have any sugar, and I wasn't supposed to have any carbs whatsoever. And I was losing weight. I was working pretty good, but I realized that not having carbs or sugar in my life made me very irritable. So I had to get off of it because I was getting grumpy.
Well, this is my thing. You know, when you're dieting, you're supposed to have cheat meals, right?
Yeah, and I'd have a cheat meal every once in a while, but I was still getting it would still make me grumpy. I don't know why. Don't ask me.
I do not know.
Yeah. So you like to cook, but you don't cook that much, eh?
Yes, sir.
When you do cook, what do you cook? Like pizza or?
just throw a frozen pizza in there.
Right.
Now, one of my favorite things to make is actually a dessert.
Really?
That it's called rum fried apples. It's my own recipe. Yeah.
Rum and apples sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Booze. Anytime booze is involved, it's got to be good.
Yeah. So rum fried apples. It's basically I fry apples up in a mixture of Captain Morgan original spiced.
Right.
I have brown sugar, cinnamon, and that's really about it. And what'll happen is, as it's frying up the apples, and it'll actually start producing a sauce almost, or a syrup
glaze.
Yeah, syrup or a glaze is probably a better definition for it. And then after they're all fried up, you just put it on there. You just kind of glaze the apples with it, and then put some powdered sugar on top of that.
Fuck yeah,
it's
dude.
Good to go. And what I like to do is I'll take the bowl after everything's already done, and I'll pour it into a like a squeeze bottle. Put it in the fridge.
Nice.
Then I'll use it on pancakes next day.
Fuck yes. One of my favorite things to make is a little labor intensive, and I haven't had it because I was trying that keto diet. Is baked bacon, macaroni, and cheese.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Like, and I'll get 3 different kinds of cheese, like make my own roux, and like melt the cheese down in the roux, and make this the noodles and stuff like that. Put it in there and make like half a pound of bacon and crumble it up in there, and then put it in the oven for like 30 minutes or something like that, and then it gets that nice crispy top on top of it. Oh,
So, yeah, we were talking about grilling a while back. This is back when John was still here.
Yeah.
And I ended up showing you a recipe. It was a video of somebody making it that I really wanted to try out, and that was the bacon wrapped hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to try that. That sounds really good.
I don't get down on hot dogs though, dude. I don't know why.
Chicago, bro.
Well, okay. I don't
Like-
get down on my own hot dogs. Like I'll get a Chicago dog, or I'll get like a Polish sausage dressed up like a Chicago dog.
Right.
But for some reason, like I'm just not a big fan of hot dogs.
Well, been a long day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like dude, I'm from Chicago, so I mean, I ought to make like hot dogs are in my DNA.
Right.
Like, dude, I can go to a gas station and load up a hot dog as long as they have what I need. I can load up a hot dog like a Chicago style Frank, and it tastes just as good.
I guarantee they don't have like the sport peppers and shit though.
No, they don't have the sport peppers. Now, when I say I can load it up just like a Chicago style hot dog, I can put the same things on it, but it doesn't quite make it the same.
No,
because
it doesn't.
it's just the simple.
There's
fact
not enough
of,
mouse poop and flies in it to make a good Chicago dog.
Now the peppers are always end up being different. That's one problem. There are no seeds on the bun.
Right.
That's a big problem. That's a staple.
Yes.
And the relish is never the neon green relish you get out of Chicago.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to actually find that in places down here. Like, you can buy jars of it, but
it's not the same.
it's
somehow.
not. It's really not.
It's because there's not enough pollution in it to make it taste.
Exactly.
It's
I want to
what it was
go.
supposed to.
I want to find some little Jewish man or some little Puerto Rican man that is selling hot dogs out of a cart on the road. That is a Chicago style Frank right there.
Definitely.
Yeah, and they're like $4 a fucking hot dog.
But it's loaded down with shit, so it makes.
Oh
up for it.
yeah.
Yeah. I think Polish sausage is honestly my favorite. I just can't get around like the fact that there is mouse poop and flies in hot dogs. Like the FDA actually said there's a certain amount that can be in the Frank.
Yeah. For me, honestly, one of my favorite things to eat is Italian sausage.
I love Italian sausage. Yeah.
Throw an Italian sausage on a bun like
Hot
that.
Italian sausage.
Boom. I prefer mine mild.
I bet you do. You don't like your wiener hot.
Don't like it spicy. Sorry,
Speaking
Jose.
of Puerto Ricans,
no, I prefer Italian sausage, but if you are going to make anything in Chicago, and you're in Chicago, ketchup is a cardinal sin.
yeah.
You do not put ketchup on a hot dog.
I don't get down with ketchup that much.
And see,
Ketchup
honestly,
is for fries only.
I get into so many arguments with people about that. They're like, well, if you can put it on there, then it goes on there. No, it doesn't. I could put a shoe on a pizza, and it doesn't mean it's supposed to be on there.
Yeah, I suppose. Why does this taste like shit? Oh, that's right. It's Kobe Bryant's sneaker. I'm not a sports guy. I don't know. Whatever.
You're not.
No.
I could tell.
Yeah, what's your favorite thing that your wife makes?
I think we've had this discussion once.
No, it was what would your last meal be?
Oh, same thing. Lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's
yeah,
my
I can
pick.
see that.
Well, she also makes these pork chops. Really good. Like she'll be
Thick cut
frying
or
them.
thin?
Either one. This recipe she has, she fries them a little bit, just to kind of singe them.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And then she throws them in the oven to bake them.
Sear them.
Yeah, she sears them. Thank you. I could not think of the word, dude, man.
Singeing is what you do to your hair when you're at work.
Yes, yeah. That's why I need to get a haircut. But she sears them, and then she throws them in the oven to bake them, and dude, it melts in your mouth. Man.
Really?
Oh, dude, they basically fall apart.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, dude, they're delicious, man. She gets the bone-in ones.
Yeah.
Now that is the closest I'm coming to a steak on my budget.
Yeah. Understandable.
Pork steak right there. Yeah. She'll make them like that. Oh man, like you could pick it up by the bone and the bone will just come right out.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, it's delicious, man. My wife can cook. I got lucky.
I've said it before. I love to smoke meats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'll experiment a lot with that. I'll make my own rubs with like brown sugar and spices and stuff like that. But I'll actually smoke pork chops.
Yeah.
And those are fucking delicious. Kind of the same thing. Like they just get so tender. But one of the
end of it.
one of the other things that's fucking delicious to smoke that I didn't even think about was hot wings.
That would be good.
Yeah. So like hickory smoked hot wings and then tossed in wing sauce. Oh yeah, man.
Oh, that sounds
so
good.
fucking good. What was your favorite meal growing up?
My favorite meal growing up?
Yeah.
Lasagna. No.
How long did you know your wife?
No. Actually, speaking of that, two things. One, whenever I'm eating a lot, which I do eat a lot, restauranty as I am, I eat a lot.
Yeah, you fucker.
And,
I even look at a pizza and I gain 10 pounds.
oh, man. When I look at a pizza, my first thought is, how can I get at least half of that inside me?
I'm into fitness. Fitness fucking pizza in my stomach.
Yes. No, I'll make a joke. She was like, "You're eating a lot," and I'm like, "I'm a growing boy," and she's like, "Yeah, outward." I'm like, and that's hurtful. But no, one of the ways that both of us got to be better cooks is we were brutally honest with each other about a meal.
Right.
Like if it's something that we would not want to eat again, we tell the other person. We're not going to lie to each other about a meal. I mean, that's a really dumb thing to lie about. I can't tell you how many times I've met people that are like, that a girlfriend's like, oh, it's his favorite dish, and then I'm talking to him later on, and he's like, I fucking hate that meal. Like, then tell her that, dude.
Right, yeah.
Come on, you're being an idiot. No, if I don't like something, my wife cooks. My wife cooks.
Your wolf.
My wolf.
Oh!
Yeah. If I don't like something that my wife cooks, she's gonna know.
Right.
I'm gonna tell her. I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm just like, yo, listen, this actually does not taste very good to me. And 9 times out of 10, she's like, yeah, I'm right there with you. It's pretty bad. I'm like, let's either change something or not make it ever again. She's like, deal.
I love lemon pepper shrimp. That's one of my favorite things.
I can't eat shrimp.
Really?
I'm allergic.
To all shellfish, I'm assuming?
Just shrimp.
Really?
It's weird. I've had crab. I've had lobster. Perfect. I had shrimp. Anaphylactic shock. Throat started closing up. Like hives. My eyes started swelling. Oh man, it's bad. Don't know what it is.
Huh.
The only thing I read somewhere, it's something about the spinal cord. That it's the only difference between shrimp and other shellfish. It's something to do with their spinal cord.
No kidding.
So I'm assuming whatever in their spinal cord, that's what I'm actually allergic to. That's the only thing I can think of. But no matter what it is, I don't take my chances with a whole lot of shellfish.
Right.
Yeah.
I love fish. Actually, there's only one place around here. I'm guessing you probably couldn't do crawfish then.
Don't know. Never had them.
Because I don't know. Crawfish is one of those weird things. I love crawfish.
They're gladiator shrimp, dude. Like, look at them.
They're like a mixture between a lobster and a shrimp, kind of.
Gladiator shrimp.
Yeah. There's actually a place.
Got clubs attached to their arms. They're gladiators.
There's a place down in St. Louis that I like to go to. It's called Broadway Oyster Bar.
Okay.
And I love oysters. Oysters Rockefeller is one of my favorite, which is delicious. I don't know if you've ever had it.
Never. I'm just kind of going with it.
Broadway Oysters Rockefeller is oysters on a half shell with a fuck ton of cheese and bacon on it, and it is good. It is so fucking good.
I'm thinking of the Ninja Turtles theme song when you said oysters in a half shell. Turtles in a half shell. Turtle power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. Actually, this is something kind of awkward and I don't know what brought this up or the food thing, but I'm just rolling with it, so fuck it. I didn't realize my mom really can't cook that well until I moved out. Is that weird? I hated pork chops.
She doesn't listen to this, does she?
No.
Okay. Well, at least it's not hurtful.
Yeah. My mom actually comes to me now to ask me how to cook something. Let me put it that way. Cause like
fair enough.
I hated pork chops when I was growing up because for some reason they were always just tough, and I just thought that's what pork chops were supposed to be, was tough. So I never really liked them. Like I would just load them down with like Worcestershire sauce and stuff like that, try to tender it up. But then whenever I started making pork chops on my own, I'm like, wait a minute. Something is awry here.
Something's wrong.
These are actually good and not tough. Like, I can't pound a nail in with mine. So,
for me, honestly, I kind of fit into the same boat.
Yeah.
But I've always chalked a lot of that up to the fact that my sister and I were raised by my grandmother. We lived on a budget, so we really couldn't afford to get certain good things.
Right.
Like, I don't really know if she was a good cook or a bad cook because we had basically the same couple of meals over and over and over.
Right. Yeah.
We had spaghetti, which was her favorite meal in the world.
Okay.
And I'm actually shocked that I still love spaghetti because how much we ate it as children,
over and over and over,
all the goddamn time.
Right.
Now, her chili.
Let me throw this out here though.
Okay.
My mom cooks some things well, but I think it's just the meats that she doesn't quite have down.
Fair enough. When I tell you what my grandmother's chili was, it's gonna hurt you.
Oh no.
Physically,
emotionally,
on the inside. You're gonna need a therapist.
Okay.
Okay. She got ground chuck because we didn't do ground beef. She got ground chuck. I don't know what the difference is.
I have no idea either.
Ground chuck. And she would brown it.
Ground chuck is just chuck roast ground up. That's beef.
Yep.
Okay.
She would brown it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
She'd get a can of red beans.
Okay.
And throw it in and then put it on the table.
Really?
That was my grandmother's chili growing up.
So it was just beef and
beans and salt. We had salt. Dude, that's why I have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What the fuck? That was not chili.
I know. And honestly, that was my chili my entire life until I ended up moving down south. And it's cheaper living down here.
My chili will make your asshole bleed. I'm just putting it out there.
I don't like my chili being firehouse hot. I don't. I actually like a lot of meat. Like my wife, the chili she just made yesterday and what I brought to work with me today, she threw Italian sausage in it.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, it is so good. I love it.
I actually use ground pork and ground turkey in mine.
She uses a couple different things. Actually, one of the latest things she asked me, she was like, "Do you know anybody who hunts?" And I was like,
"Ooh, venison chili."
Well, that's why I was like, "Not off the top of my head. Why? What's up? What do you need?" And she's like, "Well, we need to find some way to get deer meat for the chili." And I was like, "That does sound awesome." And I was like, "Unfortunately, in Illinois, you cannot just. I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know in Illinois you cannot just buy deer meat from a hunter.
You can't.
No, they could lose their hunting license for that.
They can quote unquote give it to you.
Oh, that's actually happened. I actually had a friend of mine give me 2 deer steak, and I cooked them up, and they were fucking phenomenal.
Deer salami and deer like Slim Jims are awesome. Just saying.
Deer like the meat sticks.
Yes.
Deer meat sticks.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One of my old boss at my job before he retired, he would actually every week he would have 2 packs with him at work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, where do you get those? And he was like, oh, I'm a hunter, and I have it all processed. Then I just throw it in the freezer, and throughout the year when it's not hunting season, I just pull 2 packs out a week and I eat them.
Fuck yes.
So he has deer meat all year round.
Man after my own heart.
Oh man, like that's a smart man. Like,
okay, well the hunting thing brings up a weird thing. What's the weirdest animal you have eaten? And I know you grew up in Chicago, and you're kind of new to down. Not really new.
The weirdest
but new-ish.
animal I've ever eaten. The Spam count?
That's a multitude of animals.
No, I was actually gonna say earlier. My favorite meal growing up was fried chicken. To answer your question from earlier,
all right.
was fried chicken. I still love fried chicken. It's actually my second favorite meal in the world.
That's the one thing my mom can make better than I can, because I don't.
I'm gonna have to talk to your mama because
I don't do fried chicken that well.
Oh, dude, I love fried chicken. Like, if she wants to make me a plate,
yeah,
or if she wants to make you a plate and you just don't want it, like, I'll take it. No, fried chicken. The meal I cannot do to this day, Spam and beets.
What the?
Up there, Spam is like 84 cents for a can.
Nobody
when
can
it's like
see,
$4 down
Nobody
here.
could see this, but my body just contorted into
yes,
weird.
And then a can of just like cheap beets was like 16 cents at Aldi's.
Okay.
So I mean,
that
throw those on a plate with some scalloped potatoes, and you've got a vegetable,
ish,
a potato,
yeah,
and a meat. So
yeah. I mean, I could see from
like,
trying
an extreme budget standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, $1,100 a month in Chicago.
Yeah,
an extreme budget situation. It made sense, but now to this day, do not put Spam in front of me.
Yeah.
Don't do it, because I don't care how rude it makes me seem. I won't eat it.
My mom had me try Spam once, and I was like, never again.
Funny enough, love Vienna sausages.
That's weird.
I know. Don't understand it. I love liverwurst.
Ew.
Oh, dude, I could take it and spread it on a piece of bread and eat it like that.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, I could take a spoon, just dig a chunk of it
Oh,
out.
God. No, thank you.
Liverwurst.
Oh.
Somebody actually, when I was working in the prison, somebody asked me, like,
What is that? It smells like liver.
and I was like, basically is. And they're like, well, what is it? And I was like, do you like bologna? And they're like, yeah. I was like, well, this spreads bologna that spreads like peanut butter.
Oh,
she's like, that sounds horrible. And I was like, it tastes amazing.
You know what I can't eat to this day?
Green olives and mustard on it.
Fuck off with that shit, dude. No. Pimento loaf. I hate pimento loaf. I don't know why, but my mom used to buy it, and she would make me a sandwich of it, and I'm like, I feel like I'm eating a lizard's eyes when I eat this shit. This is disgusting.
Oh, dude, whenever I throw sauerkraut and mustard on a hot dog, my old lady's just like,
No. Sauerkraut and mustard on a hot dog is the bomb. I don't care.
oh
what
yeah,
anybody
no,
else
absolutely. My wife hates it. She's like,
It makes your breath smell like butt.
and I'm like,
says. Yep, but it tastes awesome.
it tastes amazing. She
I
doesn't
love
she doesn't
sauerkraut.
like either of them, so she's not gonna combine them.
My dad's side of the family is German, so there was a lot of sauerkraut when I was growing up, especially at
And
my
you never had
grandma's house.
liverwurst?
I've had it. I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
I've had it. I really don't like it.
I understand.
I don't know if it's the taste or the texture, because I kind of like Spam. I don't know if it's the taste or the texture, but bleh, no, thank you.
The strangest animal I've ever had to eat.
Not necessarily had to eat, but the strangest animal you have eaten.
Oh, have eaten?
Yes.
Well, when my dog goes, it's gonna be her. But
We need to get you on a different budget, man. That's no. Mm-mm. Dog meat.
no, hey.
For all you Fallout fans out there.
It has nothing to do with my budget. I am sending her to the gods.
What about horse meat? Would you ever eat horse meat?
If I was starving,
You would, huh? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we all have eaten horse meat somewhere.
if I was starving, I had the choice between dying or bludgeoning a horse to death with a rock and eating its meat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bullseye, you're going down.
I'm sure we probably all... I've eaten at some sketchy Chinese food restaurants, so I'm sure
Fair
that I've
enough.
eaten some...
Fair enough.
I've actually had possum once.
Never had possum.
It's greasy.
I bet.
Well, you were talking about hunters, and for some reason, my dad and I went to like one of those hunter potluck dinner things or something like
I
that.
think I may have had squirrel once.
Squirrel's good. Squirrel and rabbit are delicious.
I think I may have had squirrel. He claimed he was joking, but I don't think he was. A friend of mine. Don't think he was.
It's kind of like frog legs. I would imagine it would taste just like chicken. Honestly, I mean, I'm just saying.
What is it? There was actually an episode years ago. Survivor. Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
I don't know
Which
if
was
it made a
sham.
comeback. I don't know if it made a comeback or not. But I guess they had to eat this mystery meat,
All right.
and it turned out to be gator.
Oh,
Well-
fuck. Gator's delicious.
Yeah, that's the thing. They were all freaking out because they just ate alligator meat, blah blah blah. Well, one of the guys that was a contestant on the show
Uh-huh.
owned his own restaurant.
Right.
He was a professional chef.
And he was
He
like,
actually added gator to his menu.
fuck yeah, dude.
And from what I heard, it was like in the city in the north somewhere. Like he was like New York or Chicago. Well, not Chicago. It was like New York or
Larger.
somewhere where it was not normal.
Yeah.
To have had gator meat.
That place in St. Louis that I like going to, they have gator on the menu. And it's fucking
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
There was actually a place around here that used to serve gator.
I don't
Fried
think
gator.
I would trust a central Illinois town serving gator.
I don't know, man. I've had some awesome frog legs around here. Putting it out there.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Nope.
You got to find a good diner though. Like,
Oh, see, I love small diners, like dives, like I love places like that. If I go in there and the waitress has 2 first names,
it's gonna be some damn good food.
it's gonna be some damn good food. It is. If Jim Bob's in the back and I can smell the burger grease,
Dripping off of him.
yeah, on his apron, I'm home.
He's scratching his back with a spatula
Dude,
and
like
flipping a burger.
it's good. I'm good to go. I don't know what your hairy back is doing to that spatula, but you got it going on, brother.
He's the 2018
He is
greaser.
the secret ingredient.
Aw. Might not have bathed in a couple of days, but fuck yeah. Yeah, I love greasy spoons. There's some small places around here that,
Greasy spoons.
you don't. Have you
I've never
of
heard it called that.
that? Yeah, that's what they call like little tiny diners or greasy spoons.
Yeah, I've never heard that one, man.
Like if you put your hands down on the countertop and you can't get them up, and you have to get a spatula to get them off, because of all the.
No, I'm more afraid of the places where, like, when you put your hands on the counter and you can't put your weight on it because if they come out from underneath, you're gonna crack your face on the counter. Bam! Ow! Yeah, we're eating here.
It's kind of like eating at Waffle House. Same thing. You need a spatula to get your hands off the table because all the syrup that's been on there.
Oh yeah.
And they have never changed their look since 1972.
My folks and I, on the way back with my brother, we actually ate at a little place called the Gardner Restaurant.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's in Gardner, Illinois. It's just this little diner. Okay, and it was a pretty good little place. I mean, I actually was digging it. Like, no, it didn't fit into like that joke I was making earlier. I mean, it was actually a pretty nice little family diner, and all I ordered was a couple eggs, some pancakes, some bacon and sausage. That's it. That's all I
Right.
got. Oh man, I was full.
Good shit.
Oh, dude, 2 pancakes. Now, when I was thinking pancakes, I was thinking like
Normal size.
little
IHOP style.
IHOP pan. No, I mean they were the size of the fucking plate,
Fuck yeah,
dude.
That's the best.
And the sausage was just like dripping in grease when you picked it up.
yeah.
Oh, perfect. The bacon wasn't too crispy. I don't like my bacon too crispy, but it wasn't too flubber either. When I pick it up, I kind of want to have a little bit of a flex without like wrapping around my hand.
Right. I
Yeah.
don't like it when I have to chew my bacon. I just want it to like disintegrate in my mouth like a meat candy.
Well, see, I don't mind chewing my bacon. I don't like getting stabbed every time my teeth come down on top of it because it's basically shards of glass at that point.
Right.
Like, if you burn your bacon, that's disgusting.
Right.
Like, just, sorry, you're doing it wrong.
Respect the meat.
Exactly. And,
All right.
oh,
Weird
man,
question.
It was good.
Waffles or pancakes?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a depending on the day situation.
Really?
I probably ate more waffles growing up.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm definitely a waffle guy. I can tell you exactly why.
I prefer pancakes only because I've had pancakes like homemade from the batter.
Right.
I've never had waffles like that.
You know,
I've only ever had frozen waffles.
Oh,
So when you're comparing frozen to home cooked,
yeah.
you're gonna go with home cooked.
Do you know how you know you're at a good hotel if you're like traveling somewhere?
They got the waffle iron.
They got
in
the
kitchen.
motherfucking waffle maker. Yeah.
They had one. I actually was at a hotel like that, and they had one the next morning. And we didn't have time for me to stop and eat.
that sucks. I'd have made time. You know, yeah, I can tell you.
I was like 13.
Gotcha. I can tell you exactly why waffle over pancake for me.
Why?
Because waffles are the only breakfast food that has built-in pockets to keep your syrup and your butter in it.
All right. I actually don't put butter on my waffles or pancakes.
What?
I know it's weird. I don't put butter on any extra butter on almost anything.
Oh, dude. I love me some butter, dude.
I
think
don't know
that's
what it
probably
is.
why I'm fat.
I don't put any extra butter on almost anything. I don't put any extra salt on anything for obvious reasons.
Right.
We
Yeah.
talked about that a couple times. Don't put any extra salt on anything. Don't put any extra butter on almost anything. If it needs it, it needs it.
Right.
But
Funny
yeah,
thing.
honestly, if I need to add flavor to something, you know what my go-to is?
What?
Sriracha.
Okay.
I'll throw a little bit of sriracha on there
Yeah.
because I like the flavor, and it also gives a little bit of like a spicy kick. It's not really hot, but it gives it a spicy kick.
Okay, so weird because you were talking about you don't salt anything.
No.
You used to be a CO, like everybody knows.
Yes.
I don't understand why more inmates don't have like ungodly high blood pressure.
Oh, they do.
Because I was looking at the sodium content on a 6-pack of ramen. What the fuck?
Most of the inmates actually survive off of their commissary.
Yeah.
Now, they will go to chow for certain meals. Now, okay. When you first get there, you're going to chow hall.
Right.
Because
You don't have money.
you don't have money. And on top of that, any money you did have in the last prison you were in
Right.
takes time to transfer over.
Okay.
Okay. So right there, boom, you're going to meals. You're only eating those 3 meals a day. Okay.
Right.
If your family at home is broke
Yeah.
and you don't have a job of some kind in the prison, your ass is going to going to chow hall.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
that's it. Even if you do have a job, sometimes those jobs only give you enough to really pay for the necessities,
Right.
like hygienic product.
Right. Yeah.
You know, your ass is going to chow hall.
Right.
Now, a lot of the people there, they do have people sending them money. There was actually one inmate there. She was running. What she was doing was wrong, but I kind of had to respect her hustle.
Really? What was
She
she doing?
had like 6 sugar daddies.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And none of them knew about each other,
Wow.
including one time they passed each other in the lobby. One was going out from a meeting or the other one was coming in.
What?
They didn't know who the other one was. They were just strangers.
Damn, dude.
Us officers, we knew.
That's fucking ballsy, man.
Dude, oh man.
Although, in all honesty, I mean, it's not like they could do anything about it.
No. I mean, how would they know?
Right, exactly.
I mean, some of them were from different states that were coming to see her. I'm like,
How?
like you're not even close to a dime, dude. Like you're a mediocre 6.5.
Well, was she like super good looking or something, or what?
That's what I mean. Like she was not a dime. Like
Really?
she was like a 6.5. Like she was kind of weird looking actually.
Butterface.
Butter everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm honestly like she had to have some kind of charisma. She had to be able to talk to people.
right, exactly.
Like now, granted, most of these guys really like, had to have 20 years minimum on her.
Wow.
Yeah, all like 5 or 6 of them had.
What
to
the
have.
fuck was she telling him? Like, just as soon as I get out of here, I guarantee
Pretty
I'm gonna
much.
suck your dick.
No, that's literally how they would work it.
Wow.
Because there were actually quite a few that had like a sugar daddy or more than one, but this chick had like 6.
Jesus.
And she actually got sent to SEG one time because she tried to send. This is actually pretty gross. She tried to send some of her own body hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
The pubes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Out in a letter to this guy.
Oh.
Yeah,
what the
that's
fuck was he going to do with
disgusting.
it?
No idea.
Eh.
No idea. But if
Oh.
somehow you're falling in love with your pen pal
It's
that
like
you've
a-
never met.
It's like the Family Guy episode where Meg bakes some of her body hair into a pie.
hair is in the pie.
It's in you. My
My
hair, is in you, Brian.
Brian.
that was weird. Let's not do that.
Stewie, I love you, cool whip. Like, you're eating hair.
Yeah. But that was like I'm budgeting because I'm off work right now, and good old unemployment doesn't pay a whole heck of a lot. So I went to the grocery store the other day and I was like,
Pays enough for chili.
right. That was the cheapest thing I could eat for 3 days straight, man. But yeah, I was looking at ramen because they had like 6 packs for $1, and I was like, I haven't had ramen in forever. And I flipped the package over. I'm like, holy shit, 960 milligrams of freaking sodium in each one. I'm like, holy fuck.
Well, people don't realize those 1 pack of ramen is supposed to be like 2 meals.
Yeah.
And they're like, they got like 6 of them. They're like, look at me putting it in a fucking popcorn bowl. It's like,
holy shit. Yeah.
yeah.
But that was the reason why I'm like, I'm surprised like inmates don't have super high blood pressure because of the fucking
honestly,
sodium.
a lot of them really do. Especially, honestly, there's only one kind of inmate I really feel bad for when it comes to like mealtime.
Yeah.
Diabetics. Especially diabetics who do not have anybody at home.
Right.
Because there's the amount of sodium in the food that they're being served could kill them.
Right.
Because some of them, they had severe diabetes.
I have a funny EMS story involving jail and a diabetic, actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So, in the same area that you were a CO at, we got called down to the county jail for somebody who was unresponsive in one of the jail cells. And supposedly this person had like been there for like 6 or 7 hours or something like that. Well, this person's a diabetic. Now, I don't know how much you know about diabetes, but there are 2 different ways that you can get your insulin. You can either, well, technically 3. I mean, if it's not bad enough that you have to be on insulin, some of them have oral pills that they can take for their diabetes to help keep it in check, and then keep it in check with diet. Or you have injectable insulin, like Humalog or whatever, and that you actually just stick it. It's like a metered dose, and you stick it in your leg, or you stick it in your stomach
or
and
leg.
yeah.
Because I've seen people do it both places.
Or if you're bad enough, they can give you a pump, a insulin pump, and basically.
Shack it in your eye or something? Like, what the fuck?
No, it's got this little thing. It's a little needle that sticks into your stomach and it stays there. And then they have this little.
That sounds horrible.
I mean, depending on how bad your diabetes is, if you need like insulin more often than just like once in the morning, once at night, or something like that. Then you have this little pump that you carry around in a little pouch or in your pocket or something that hooks up to your little port thing there, and then like their AccuCheck or whatever will read how much their blood sugar is, and then will like tell the pump how much to give you. Or if you feel like your blood sugar is getting high, you can hit a button and you can give yourself a dose or bump up the doses to more often. Well, now this goes back to the stupidity of some people. Now the nurse at the county jail knew, and so did the COs, knew that she had this pump. Now, I don't know if this nurse has ever actually worked in a medical environment or if she was a jail nurse.
I was say straight out of college into the jail.
Yeah.
Never got any good experience anywhere else.
Now, as a nurse, you should know that you can bolus yourself with the insulin. So you hit the button and you basically just pump yourself full of insulin and your blood sugar drops. Okay. The nurse did not take away the insulin pump when she got there and just put her back on like a Humalog where twice a day she'd get her insulin. Mm-hmm. She left the pump on. And that's exactly what this person did, is she bolused herself to make herself pass out so that way she'd have to get sent out of the jail to go to the hospital. So she was sitting in a jail cell alone, pumped herself full of insulin, and when we got there, like her blood sugar was like 10, so we had to give her We had to give her dextrose, took her insulin pump off, and the nurse goes, well, why'd you take her insulin pump off? She needs that to survive. And I said, she just fucking bolused herself full of insulin. She's got a blood sugar of 10. Why didn't you guys take it off of her? Well, I didn't know we could. I'm like, facepalm. Like, the biggest fucking facepalm in the world.
It's not surgically attached.
Right, exactly. Like, if you're going to have somebody sitting in a cell alone, you should probably be more prepared for their medical needs and not let something like this happen.
Did I tell you about the inmate that tried to commit suicide while I was on watch? I think I may have in passing.
Okay.
There was an inmate who, when I got there one day, they were like, hey, we have a new inmate. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Pause that for a second. If they hadn't checked on this chick that I was talking about within like 10 minutes, it would have fucking killed her because she was like down. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, they're like, she's in a crisis cell right now, so you're going to have to check on her. I'm like, okay, how often is her crisis? Because there's constant.
Right.
Every 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
15 plus every 30.
Okay.
Cool.
And I'm guessing Constant's more like a babysitting job.
Oh, constant, you have to have another officer on the unit so you can do your job while the constant is literally sitting at the door watching her.
Well, that's fucked up.
Oh, it's the most boring job in the world for the officer on duty.
Right.
It's because he, like, literally every couple of minutes he has to go, inmate appears to be awake. Inmate appears to be reading.
Fuck.
Inmate appears. You have to say appears to be.
Right.
Because you can't say, oh, well, inmate is asleep.
Well, how did you know?
Exactly. It really is just that dumb.
That I understand.
And,
EMS reporting is kind of the same way.
Yeah. And so I'm making my rounds. This is the same time that Rivlin inmate made the fucking sword.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, this happened like within the couple of days when she was locked up.
Huh.
Because I'm making my rounds. Inmate Rivlin is like pounding on the glass every time I walk by and try to talk to me. I'm like, yeah, Rivlin, whatever you say. She's like, I need a book. Because you're not allowed to have a book. I'm like that. It's because you're locked up right now. Like,
right.
And I'm like, why you need a book? Like, all right, well, I would clear her with get her what she needs. Okay. Well, I'm making my rounds, doing all this kind of stuff, and every time I walk past, I always knock on the glass and ask the inmate that's in crisis if she's all right.
Right.
If she needs anything, because she is allowed to have certain things.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, are you all right? Do you need this? You need that? All right, just knock on the glass. Let me know if you need anything, okay? My name is C.O. Russell. You just call me. I'm here to help you if you need anything. All right? Okay, well, I'm making my rounds. One point in time, I sit down at my desk and have a glance over, and she's standing at the door watching me. Inside her cell, she's standing at the door watching me. I'm looking at her like,
this is weird.
Like, something wrong? She's like, come here. She's mouthing, come here to me.
Right.
I'm like, the fuck? So I get up, and I start walking over there, and I'm got my hand on my keys, and I've got my other hand ready to strike if I need to.
Right.
Because there have been situations like that, where an inmate tries to like lure you in, and then another inmate attacks you.
Right.
Well, we had two other inmates farther down who were technically on like hospital watch.
Right.
Like we're keeping an eye on them.
Yeah.
But if one of them got froggy, I wanted to.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to be prepared.
Totally.
When I get up to her, I'm like, what's up? She's like, C.O. Russell, I need a Band-Aid. Well, why? She's like, because I'm feeling really, really depressed, and I decided I was going to cut my wrists to kill myself, but I couldn't make it through with the bed, because the beds are made out of metal.
Right, yeah.
Fucking reason. And she found a little serrated piece of it, and she started dragging her wrist back and forth across it, trying to cut her veins. She ended up breaking the skin. So it was a little cut.
Yeah.
Nowhere near enough to actually like start drawing blood. Just enough for it to start stinging as she's dragging it across.
Right, yeah.
She's like, And she's got like 3 or 4 cuts. Like she tried to start over a couple of times. Like it was gonna feel different somewhere else.
Down the tracks, not across the street.
Anyway.
Just putting it out there.
Anyway.
Okay.
And I'm like, I was kind of looking at her and I'm like, I'll be right back.
I'm guessing you had to go get somebody.
Oh, yeah. I had to go into the nurse station. I was like, I just had an inmate try to commit suicide. She needs a bandage on her wrist. They just kind of looked at me and I was like, don't worry about me. Go take care of her. Just pop open the cuckold. Do it that way. I'm getting a hold of my sergeant. Call my sergeant. I'm like, hey, I got an inmate try to commit suicide. All right, call your lieutenant. All right, I got an inmate try to commit suicide. All right, call your major. I got an inmate that tried to commit suicide.
Why don't one of you guys call?
Don't tell me to call the warden.
I've already worked all the way up.
And finally, it seems like as soon as I get a hold of Major, radio pops up. Sergeant such and such, Lieutenant such and such report to the HTU. They're all down there. They're like, well, you need to write the paperwork. I'm like, I already got the paperwork started. All this kind of crap. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there and thinking to myself, what now? She ended up getting put on constant watch.
Right.
She went from half hour straight down to constant. Next thing I know, an officer who had been there for a while. He's been there for 20 years now.
Damn.
Just at the one location. Just sitting there. And I would just happen to look up at him. And I'm like, yeah, all right. And he's like,
bored.
Doing this job for 20 years. It's my least favorite job in this building. He's just sitting there, was looking in every couple minutes.
What was your least favorite job when you were there?
Chow hall.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Bunch of fucking animals. Jesus Christ. You had to have the inmates fed in a certain amount of time.
Okay.
And they had to be fed and let back out. Now, the problem was you could not cross lines.
Okay.
Which means that one line could not be coming in as another line is going out.
Right.
Because then if 2 of them get into a fight, now you got a whole line of people you got to mess with.
Right.
And it just makes a real bad situation for officers.
Try to keep the peace.
Exactly. That, and occasionally you would have officers that just didn't give a shit, and
right.
They would try to overpack you. And it's like, we all know we can only fit so many inmates in here.
Right.
If I can only fit 350 inmates in here, and you've already sent me 3 units with 90 inmates, you cannot send me a 4th unit with 90 inmates.
Right.
That goes way over.
We are at capacity.
Like, y'all need to hold up a second. And there have actually been a couple times where I had to do that. They were like, "See, Russell, are you ready for?" Like, no, I am not. Matter of fact, stand by. I'm sending some out.
Right.
And then you had inmates that couldn't keep, like, when you sit down, you fill up every chair.
Okay.
You don't skip seats. Okay. Now this is where I was at.
Okay. It's not high school. You can't pick your chair.
No, you don't pick your chair, because then girlfriends are going to be sitting together. People trying to pass contraband, kites, all that kind of shit. They're going to be sitting together. There's a reason
What's
we
a
have...
kite?
Kite is just a prison note. Remember when high school and you used to, like, write notes to each other and they fold them up in, like, the little pattern? Like, girls would do it mostly. And,
No.
like, they would fold them up. How old are you?
I didn't think I was paying attention that much. I'm 30.
Well, cell phones weren't around when you were in high school. And like, they were, dick. But
Partway through. Okay, asshole.
No.
I had a flip phone. Fuck off.
Virgin Mobile. Man, how does it feel knowing that when you were in high school, the Razor was top of the line?
Shut up, dude. I only had one buddy. I had a fucking Sony Ericsson. I had a Sony Ericsson that was like the slide type.
Yeah.
That motherfucker would... I can't tell you how many times that thing has either hit the ground, and actually, My first flip phone.
Somebody tried to shoot me and let it stop the bullet.
My first. I think I had a Sony Ericsson flip phone too. I think it was one of my phones. That thing flew out of my pocket when I was on my motorcycle. Hit the ground. I went back in the middle of the night and found it because the light was still working. That sucker would still work. I think I kept it for like another year and used it. So
Fair enough. They did make cell phones very durable at one time.
you could fling that at somebody and knock them out if you wanted to. those phones used to last.
Put
a
it
long
in a
time.
sock and you had a weapon.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't even have to do that. You just have a friend sitting down and fucking flinging it at the back of his head. Ow. Yeah.
Anyway, what was I talking about?
Didn't like Chow Hall.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't like Chow Wall at all. I was talking about something after that. There's a reason the cell phones got brought up.
Because of kites and you couldn't pick your chair.
Yes. In high school, when somebody would write a letter,
Yeah.
they'd fold it up and like they'd turn into like they would fold it up a certain way and it would look like really pretty as they passed somebody. Most of the guys would just be like, "Fuck it, it's a football."
Right,
And
yeah.
like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just fucking hold it and flick it at your buddy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now girls would do like this really intricate thing, like all these intricate things to make it like the really pretty when you first open it and look at it. So that way, you had to unfold it a certain way, or just
Girls
rip
are
it.
weird.
Well, that's what kites are.
Okay.
That's literally it. They're just notes because they can't text each other.
Right.
So they would be sending each other notes. Well, if two inmates are separated because we think they're in a relationship,
Yeah.
they're not allowed to pass kites.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what is in there. I mean, they could just be saying, hey, I heard you were sick. Get well soon. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking kite and you're getting written up.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
It really doesn't matter.
That's weird.
And,
Kinda.
yeah. Pretty much they're in prison
Right.
to think about what they did,
Right.
not to find love.
That actually, I kind of asked a little bit about this last time. Did you see people were most of like the quote unquote prison boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever? Were they like cellmates first, or was it like I'm curious. Because it seems like
They
have
would
to
tend
be
to be
roommates.
they would tend to be on the same side of the prison, if nothing else, because our prison was divided into two sides. There were 4 housing units on each side, A, B, C, and D on the west side, E, F, G, and H on the east side.
But if they were on the same side, like how often would they actually be able to see?
Honestly, almost every day,
Really?
by going to gym or going to the library or going to Chow Hall, which that prison was so small, your roommate probably could have been roommates with your girlfriend forever ago.
Right.
And so it wouldn't be too weird to see, oh, hey, inmate A is dating inmate B. Well, inmate C is friends with both of them. Well,
Huh.
now inmate B
C,
and C
yeah.
are chit-chatting. Well, chances are inmate C is
They're gonna
giving
be fight
inmate
or
B.
something.
No, inmate C is giving inmate B a kite from inmate A
Gotcha.
because inmate A couldn't see.
Did you catch anybody fucking?
No. The
You say that
aftermath.
with a little bit of reservation in the no.
The aftermath of it.
Okay. Because I've got a good story for you, not about EMS, but about something else. So.
No, I never caught anybody doing it. I did. There was an inmate who came out of her room screaming about 2 of her roommates, because there was 4 inmates to a room typically.
Okay.
2 of her other roommates, because one of the other roommates got sent home that week, so there was only 3 in that room.
Okay.
So one inmate came out screaming about the other 2 inmates, saying that she woke up and caught them in bed together, and she didn't care that they were in bed together. She cared when they asked if she wanted to join.
Oh.
That's when she got pissed.
Prison threesome.
And oh man, because I remember hearing about that, and I remember laughing my ass off because no, I think it was the officer on duty. I think she was actually yelling at me about it.
Really? Yeah.
It was my unit. I can't remember if that whole thing happened, because that woman came out of her room screaming about something all the time.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I had to write her up. It either happened right before I left or right after I left.
Right.
Because it was late. They were already in bed.
Right.
And yeah, she came out of her room screaming about how they were in there fucking, and I remember the other two inmates.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them they called Eli. She was a female inmate.
Did she always carry a book?
No.
The Book of Eli?
No, she identified as a male.
Okay.
And I looked at her and I was like, I don't care where you stand politically. You should be really glad you're here.
Really?
And she was like, well, why would you say that? I'm a male. And I'm like, unfortunately, you have all the parts of a female. So if you ended up in a male joint, what do you think would be happening to you?
I'm going to put this out there right now. And I will reiterate. I know that this is not Orange is the New Black.
No.
And I'm sure that they were
probably
actually some gross looking people.
It is Orange is the New Black, but every single one of them look like that cross-haired crazy one.
Okay, all right.
That cross-eyed crazy one that was
You my wife.
I'm going to put this out here.
That's all of them.
It's still less gross thinking about two female prisoners having a relationship than it is two male prisoners having a relationship. It's still less gross than that.
Why?
I don't know. It seems like it'd be more forceful in a male prison than it would be in a female prison.
We discussed this. Anal sex and sodomy are two different things.
Yeah,
Drew.
I know.
Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we discussed this my first episode.
Sodomy.
Yeah.
Living together in harmony. Yeah. Anyway.
Episode 17, go back.
Yeah, my story is I actually caught somebody fucking when I was working one time. But I was not in EMS at the time. I was actually working as a security guard while I was going through my EMTB class.
Uh-huh.
And
where were you?
I was at a large local company that makes tractors. So, and I worked the night shift, and part of my duties was I would have to do rounds all the way, throughout the building, and there was a large catwalk. Well, at this place,
did you work with the company that started with a W or an S?
S.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shitty place to work for. Just putting it
Yeah.
out. I actually got fired from that job because I missed a training session when my truck blew up. I threw a rod through the block, and because I was late, they fired me. Yeah, for just a training. It wasn't even for work or anything. Yep, shitty place to work. Anyway, I was working the night shift.
Yeah, I agree with you. That would be a shitty place to work.
And there was a large catwalk that you had to patrol. And within this catwalk, now I don't judge people on religion or anything like that, but there was a prayer room for the Muslims that would work at this company. They converted 2 rooms, I think, to prayer rooms for the engineers that were working there that were Muslim, so that way whenever they had to go pray or anything, they'd go up there and they'd do their prayers, and then they'd go back to work. Well, at night, there were only a very few people who were working within the offices, and the catwalk was right off the offices. I go up the stairs and start doing my rounds, going down the hallway, scan my tag, and I made it kind of a habit. I wouldn't go in there, but I'd always open the door, peek in, and make sure nobody was in there messing with anything.
Mm-hmm.
I opened the door, turned on my flashlight, and the way it was set up was you'd walk in this room, and to the right was a wash basin so they could wash their hands and their feet before they went into the actual room, the prayer room. So I opened the door, I shined my flashlight back there, and then there was like a small wall, it was almost the size of a double doorway, and then there were like small walls that would go to, the wall that would separate. And so I opened up the door, shine my light in the washroom, and then all of a sudden I see two heads peek up around from where the prayer room was. One male, one female, and I don't think they were praying, but they were on their knees. Let me put it that way. So yeah, that was fun. That was one of those situations where I was just like, put it back on, and then just walked out the door and kept doing my rounds. And I had to like fucking notate it and shit like that, because I wasn't about to go in there and you know, if you gotta do what you gotta do, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's see. With the prison, never walked in on anyone having sex, but there was another one that was actually pretty rough. I think I may have mentioned this one in the show before, where this one inmate, she was just a problem. One-on-one, she's a model inmate.
Really?
But she was always doing something wrong, and then didn't understand why she got in trouble when she got caught up in it.
Right.
She was just one of those people. She's like, well, I didn't do anything wrong.
Once you get done with the story, we gotta wrap up.
Oh yeah, I know. I looked at the clock, and I was like, you do know where you are, right? Like, you get in trouble,
right?
But
you've done something wrong at some point. That's why you're here.
No, it was well after we had called count, which calling count at the end of the day means bedtime. Lights out, go to sleep.
Right.
Like, I don't know what you don't understand about that. Like, if Lieutenant comes around and you're still up and you're acting a fool, you're getting written up.
Right.
Me personally, I'm like, you're an adult, but if you break the law and you're in prison, you pretty much gave up your rights as an adult.
Right, exactly.
But anyway,
go ahead.
She goes ahead, and this is well after count got called. This is on A wing, and we hear, I got a 10-10 on A wing. I'm sitting in the healthcare unit going, well, I know where they're coming.
I think you did tell this story.
Yeah.
Is this the same one that she was bleeding, or?
No. That was on D wing. That was a 10-10 on D wing. But I'm like, great. I know where they're coming, because whenever anybody gets into a fight, they come to healthcare.
Right. Yeah.
Get checked out, make sure there's nothing internally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next thing I see 2 officers and a lieutenant escorting this scrawny little chick, like she's like 97 pounds maybe.
Okay.
Into the HCU. And as she comes around the corner, all I hear is,
That bitch didn't care when I was licking her pussy.
Oh, God. Well, at least we know what happened.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, evidently, lovers quarrel.
Mm-hmm.
One lover was about to get out. Other lover was like, well, I'll meet you outside, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
First lover is fucking married
Nice.
to a man.
Okay.
She didn't want girlfriend showing up because she never told girlfriend she's married.
So they got in a fucking fight
They
about
got
that?
into a fight. Now, I don't know why the dude called it 10-10, because it wasn't a physical fight. It
Just
was
an argument
verbal.
or something?
It was verbal, but she wouldn't go back to her room.
Gotcha.
So that's when he called it 10-10. She got put in cuffs, taken to SEG, and that's when she was like, well, she didn't care when you blah, blah.
Right, yeah.
Then she tried to deny it. Like, the next day, she's like, Lucille Russell, I never said this. And I'm like,
I heard you, motherfucker.
I was like, you literally just lied right to my face. She's like, no, I didn't. I was like, I could hear you. She's like, oh.
All right. Well, let's wrap this motherfucker up, because we tend to just, like, talk.
Ramble.
Yeah. We had a couple of things that we were going to talk about that we didn't get to. We'll do that next week. So there you go. We thank you guys for listening to us. We appreciate it. And joining us on our 34th episode of this stupid thing that
Yay!
happens to go out. All right, Kermit. Ah!
It's the word of the day.
Yeah. As always, if you have any questions for us or comments for us, let us know. Email us at 107offduty@gmail.com or get a hold of us on Facebook and Twitter at 10-7offduty. Also, please go visit our friends at Medic Element and use the discount code MEDIC18 to buy one, get one free on stickers, and check out the other stuff they do because it's awesome. And I think they even have coffee now, too, that you can buy through Black Rifle, which the other thing is you can use the discount code 107offduty at Black Rifle Coffee and get 15% off and enjoy. And I think I'm going to make myself a pop before I go back out to the garage because, yes, caffeine. How you doing, Clyde?
Send help. He really is holding me against my will.
Yes. He's not going to see his wife again. Anyway, thank you guys. We appreciate it. And we will see you next week.
If you're hearing this, Tasha, I love you.
Bye.
Bye.